Okay, before we get started in the basketball demo, I want to take you through the pricing options for ScoreHD. So basically, first you pick and you purchase the render license. So the render license is a one-time purchase, and then you can play back all of the various sports and applications on that render license. So the render license starts all the way from a 4K license down to a HD SDI, which supports Blackmagic Decklink cards, or Thunderbolt out to the Aja IO XT. We introduced that in late 2012, just after Aja introduced that IO interface. IVGA over NewTek, the new NDI format, which was created by NewTek, but now is achieving broad acceptance within the industry. That render license is only $2,000 basically. An HDMI license output for 720p 1080p over HDMI, and that again comes out as over a green screen for chroma keying into the HDMI inputs into your ATEM. Render window for Wirecast live stream for $9.99. So this basically creates a render window on your desktop that has the chroma key background, and you import that into these systems over their respective desktop capture, desktop presenter files. So a one-time purchase of the ScoreHD render license, and then you choose which sports and sports templates applications at $499 each. So these include the application and all the sports templates that are showing. So this includes the Photoshop assets to create your own graphics, themed graphics, and it also includes the Max Preps roster importer, but it does not include the Stat Crew import, the ability to control the pop-up from a external computer or any other product, and a sample of the various applications and sports that we have available. The next we're going to look at is choosing the data interface to get data into ScoreHD, either through a serial port or through a camera-based optical character recognition system. So we offer ScoreBridge Mono, which gives you one controller type. So if your house is all Daktronics or all OES or all Fairplay, then you just need ScoreBridge Mono for one controller. If you have multiple controllers throughout your facility, then you would choose the $9.99 version, and this provides controller interface to all of the scoreboard controllers that we currently support. OCR Assist for game clock is $499. Score OCR 4-digit, 8-digit, 20-digit, and 20-digit 2-camera input for score and shot clock on different cameras, different panels, and the ScoreHD Designer software. So we also offer cost-effective turnkey design services. So if you were a large conference or series of schools that all wanted a unified graphics look and a simple, easy-to-use interface, then this is also available. So one of the big advantages of this is if you're in a situation where you have high turnover, and you spend a lot of time training one person, and then another person comes in, and they have no idea how to run the equipment or how it operates. Using a system like ScoreHD really alleviates that, because it is so simple that it's extremely quick, and the workflow is so simplistic that it's really fast for somebody to pick up and learn how to do. All of the systems that we use require a Windows computer. No Macintoshes running boot camp. So we basically suggest a laptop running Windows 10 64-bit now. 8 gig of RAM, an i7 4790 or equivalent, a NVIDIA M980 if you're running on a laptop, or an equivalent GTX card in a PC workstation. So all of the rendering that you'll see is all done in DirectX. So That's why all the gamers like to use NVIDIA products because of DirectX. And you'll also want a solid-state drive for clip playback if you wish to do clip playback. So we're going to review the tutorial and the subjects that it covers here. So we're going to cover the score bug, the going to break, the title card, the station bug, your starting lineups, your player lower thirds, player notes, free throw statistics, player matchups, announcers, clip playback, importing headshots and binding those into your roster, generic lower thirds for coaches, various reporters for various lower thirds that you need for your game. We'll show you roster import via StatCrew files or Excel files, and a roster import via MaxPreps. So MaxPreps is a website that has many high schools, their sports teams, and it has their rosters. So we'll show you how that works. And then our user-created graphic import, where you use assets that we provide, themed assets to that particular look, and you can create your own custom graphics and bring those into ScoreHD with real-time transitional effects that are pretty impressive. So that's the subject matter that we'll be looking at today. And we have a click the question mark. So anytime during the video, you'll see down in the lower right-hand corner down here, there'll be a question mark. And you can press that, and then that will take you to a video that more thoroughly gives you a little deeper explanation of what each function does. So anytime you have a question, just press the question mark at the lower right-hand corner. So here we'll start off and we'll go over the ScoreHD basketball app, and this is the layout of the UI. It has the different animations. It has set up panels that you can set information for each one of these under each one of the sub-panels here by clicking on those. Thing to remember is that ScoreHD is a real-time renderer, so everything is rendered in real time. So it's extremely efficient, and the workflow is extremely fast. So we'll come into the, so in the scoreboard panel, the scorebug panel, obviously it shows you clock. This would normally be driven by an external data source, either from the scoreboard controller or from the OCR. A shot clock, period. You can set the period to start at first, end of first, for playback onto your go to break. We'll set up this data in the team setup, and this is the basic control if you want to use manual, fouls, official review, possessions, etc. So we'll go ahead and bring the score bar in, and this will set up in the team setup. And so if you want to see the video on the team setup, we'll give you an opportunity to do that. So here's the score bar. As you can see, it will do an animation in and out. Pretty straightforward. We have the scoring animations. So these will all, we have timeout animations. And your official review, if you have official review. Sorry, actually, this was, there we go. So you can see the different animations for +3, the scoring animations for the rolling score, +1. So you can see the timeouts, and you can set up the amount of timeouts under the game setup. So real short overview of the score bar, and if you want to see more about the score bar plus the question mark for a little more in-depth information on that. Next, we'll take a look at the team setup. So we'll come to here, and you'll see you put in the little bit of team name, abbreviations, rankings, win-loss, pick your colors with the color picker, put your logos in, and that's all the information that you need to put in, and this populates all of the text, all the places where this information should belong in all of your graphics in ScoreHD. So very efficient workflow from that standpoint. Next, in your game setup, you can come in and you can set up animation settings. You can lock the bug to the score bar when it comes out. Set the total number of periods, timeouts. You can adjust those dynamically. If you're using it with Wirecast or Blackmagic, then you'll use the chroma keyer and set the chroma keyer color. And this area down here is for setting up your data feeds. So if you have any more questions about this, just press the question mark to the right. So next you'll want to load your sponsor data, and so your sponsor data will be in your folder under resources, and then we have full screen headshots and pop-ups that we can put the different sponsor elements under. So it's really pretty simple to load the sponsor elements in at that point. And with a quick look at our score bar, we can see those various sponsor elements being displayed. Here is a movie file that we're playing back on the score bar in real time. And we can also play back image files for sponsors like that. One thing you'll notice is that the silver bar, that is all rendered dynamically in real time, so you don't have to put that on. And basically, we can come in and we can, for instance, put a station logo here. So I can come to here and I can put this looping movie file, and that will then move, that will continually loop in the movie file. So if you have any questions about loading the sponsor, just press the question mark on the right. You can also build and edit custom pop-ups off the score bar with our score bar and pop-up editor. So, for instance, we can bring up our stat bar and our pop-up, and we can simply show you that we can show different pop-ups for the away team, for Twitter, for team versus team, for Facebook, and things like that. So you can come in, you can edit these, and you can create your own custom pop-ups for the various home team, away team, and team versus team. So more information is available under the question mark. The next feature is our custom stat editor. Again, it comes from our stat panel here, and we can create various statistics, different in percentages and different formats, and then those can all be shown off the score bar. And again, up here we can show that we can just bring in these and show these stats very quickly. So you can use this feature if you don't use the stat crew file that most colleges have in order to import these stats in real time. And just remember that at any time during this presentation, you can press the click the question mark on the lower right hand corner of the render window to get a more detailed explanation of what the subject we're discussing. Next, we'll show the setup for the go to break. The go to break, we animate this in, it animates the score bar out, and will show us the current go to break. So currently we can reset the clock here to 15, and we can see the clock running on the go to break. We can also set that to halftime, and the next time we come out, actually it won't because the clock's running and it's smart. There we go, and it shows halftime. So that's your going to break. And our next feature is the title card. So this would be put up before your game. It also has a nice feature of basically a countdown clock to the tip-off time. So we come up to our title card. We can put our score bar in, and we can bring in our title card. And you can see that in this case we have a sponsor logo up here, and we have our tip-off time counting down, and the little bit of data that we've put in produces this title card graphic. Next down the list is our station bug. The station bug operation is really pretty straightforward and simple. We'll come up here, we'll put our station bug in, and you'll see the station bug show up here in the upper left-hand corner. That can all be resized and all the images and the text changed. So extremely easy to implement that into the ScoreHD workflow. The next on the list is the generic lower thirds builder. So with this, we can build various generic lower thirds. For example, head coaches, reporters, anything else that you want to show as a lower third during your game. So next on our list is the generic lower thirds. So with this, we can build lower thirds for head coaches, for reporters, for anybody else that you want a non-player lower third for during the game. So here we can see an example. We put a headshot in, the names for the different lower thirds. We can pick up different ones that we want to show, and then we can simply bring those generic lower thirds in for the game. So extremely fast and easy to build and bring on the screen to show during the game with animations. Next, we'll move down to our player lower thirds, where we need to put our roster information in. We can either put it in manually for the players for the home and away team by manual, or you can also do that through using a couple of different import techniques. The one we're talking about here will be using the Max Preps roster importer that we provide free of charge with ScoreHD. This will basically take the rosters that are located on the Max Preps webpage. We can make it go to the school's roster page, and we basically copy the URL and we paste that into the Max Prep roster importer. We press the button to create the import, and all of your rosters will then import into the home and the away team for an extremely fast workflow of getting your player numbers, positions, weight, height, class into ScoreHD. So extremely fast import feature. Another great feature that we have with ScoreHD is the ability to import rosters, real-time team and player stats from StatCrew files. So you would connect to the StatCrew file, an XML file, over your network to the statistician, and you would be able to extract the real-time team and player data from that XML file. So, and it is a paid option for ScoreHD, but basically you come into the options and you hit connect with StatCrew, and it will give me, it's not activated for it, but it will give me the ability to look for the XML file on the network and import the team rosters, the real-time team and player stats, which would then show up, the team stats would then show up into the stat panel. And here's the stat panel. And all of this information would be updated in real time from the StatCrew file. So now that we have our rosters imported, and you can see them in the home and the away side here, then what we'll do is we'll come along and we'll import the headshots. So basically the headshots, if you just had the 5 main players for the team, and you would just copy those into the headshots resources folder under the home and away teams, and the numbers that are associated with the PNG would be the roster numbers, and those would automatically bind to the roster without any other interaction. So here you can see the headshot then being displayed with the player. So again, a very, very rapid workflow of being able to get your headshots bound to your roster data. So again, now we can take those, we can see our player lower thirds come in, and again we can resize these on the fly, and it resizes all of them all at the same time. So you can have your home and your away team player lower thirds very, very rapidly. Then we can add player notes, so up to 10 notes per player in the roster. So it's a nice feature to be able to change the notes for each player. So again, we've selected a player. These came off of Max Preps, so they brought in the class, the weight, and the height directly off the Max Preps import. But again, I can come into here, and I can also build other notes for that player, and it has a different information in the note field. So you can have 10 different notes under each player in your rosters. The next great feature that's included and really helps your workflow is real-time free throw stats. So this is a really nice feature that we have. So in your player lower and third, again, we had notes and we were showing the notes on there. We can come down here and we can change that to free throw game stats. And we can now bring this player up with free throws. So he comes to the line, and this will now show first free throw of the night. It's currently saying night because we're past 5 o'clock local time. If it was before 5 o'clock, this would actually say first free throw of the day. So I can come along and I can say made, and I missed, so he's 1 for 2, and then I exit, and then it will automatically exit out of the animation. Now if I come back in again, it'll bring back in the 1 for 2, and I make a made, and I made a made. So now we're 3 for 4 for the night. So this is a great feature and provides a lot of nice information to your production. Next, since we have our rosters and our headshots, we can do select our starting lineups, and this is where the accelerated workflow really starts to show in ScoreHD. So here we come to our player lineup, and we will select the home team. And as you can see, here's our roster, and then this shows us which members of the roster we have headshots for. So in this case, we'll just do our starting lineup, and we will add the members that we have headshots for. But these are the starting lineups. I can reorder these up and down the list however I want to make those in order. And then basically now you just come to your player lineups, and you have this really nice animation for the starting lineups. You can also use this for on-the-floor graphics at different points during the game. So extremely fast. If by chance one of your members did not have a headshot, there's not a problem with that, because when you hit player lineups, it would then give you non-headshot player lineups. So that's all taken care of in logic. It's all in programming, and it's all done automatically. And another quick reminder, if you have want any detailed information about any of this, just press the question mark in the lower right-hand corner, and it will take you to a video with more detailed explanations. So here's a nice graphic for player matchups. So if you have headshots of the two players, you can use this to provide a really nice graphic for your pregame discussions. So again, here you can see we've selected the headshot that we want to use. So number 10, we've put in their historical data. We've added a movie file for a sponsor, and we also have a background clip that will play behind this, all from just bringing in the player matchup information. So there's our background clip, and then there is the graphic that's produced by just a little bit of data and a couple of little headshots. So again, extremely fast workflows and pretty astounding graphics to go. So now our team stats, halftime stats for building end of the quarter or halftime stats pages. An extremely fast workflow to get this done. So here we go to our team stats. This is the information that we received out of our stats panel. So when we update the data in the stats panel, points in the paint blocks 3 points, and we come to our team stats, that information is also here. So at the halftime, again, we're going to put a movie file behind this. We have a sponsor with that movie file, and I can simply pick the items that I want in my team stats for my halftime. So you can see that this will then put that data. It's all built. So that was 4. If we take that out and we add 2 more, then we bring that in, then it will show all 6. So extremely fast workflow to get that on the air. You can change the halftime stats up here, whatever you want to type in there. Next step, set up your announcers. So you can do 1, 2, or 3 announcers with this workflow. So if we come to the Announcers tab, you can see that there's Announcer 1, Announcer 2, Announcer 3. I can bring in the announcers. You'll see that there's a single. If I just type in the announcer's name here, you'll see that there is then a 2-by. And if we type in 3, and that will give us a 3-by. So you can have Twitter animations or no Twitter animations by just adding the @ symbol before the Twitter line. So extremely fast setup. So with this, you can also load custom graphics that you build. We supply the Photoshop templates for the themed look of this template. So you can build your own graphics, specialized graphics with sponsors, whatever you want to build. And then you can bring those in and you can transition them in with real-time effects that are pretty amazing. So here's an image that we built in Photoshop using our Photoshop assets that we give you. So this one is just the keys to the game, and it has some bullet points for the keys to the game. We then simply drop that image into our resources folder full screens, and that then becomes available under our clip panel. And then we can bring in that with various real-time graphics. So there was one called Blowout. Here's one zoom down, simple slides. So very, very nice real-time graphic transitions that you won't find really in any other system that's available. Also, like I said, you can also load your own custom movie files. Put those under the resources folder full page. So here are some movie files that are available. This is a Starbucks commercial. So you can actually play this back. This is being, again, rendered in real time. And you can play back that commercial. You can also play back other graphics over the top of that if you chose to do so. So again, click the question mark on any of those if you want a more detailed explanation on this setup and implementation of those. And that concludes this presentation of the quick tutorial of the ScoreHD basketball template. Everything that you've seen here, once you buy the render license, everything you see here was $499 minus any optional importing or control mechanisms. Thanks for your time.